They will miss you badly, even if they are no longer in contact with you. And I know right now that might feel hard to believe, because when someone is silent, when they don't text, don't call, don't show up, your mind starts creating stories. Stories that say, maybe they forgot you, maybe they moved on, maybe you didn't matter as much as you thought, and slowly, without realizing it, you start giving your power away to those stories. But here's the truth most people don't understand about manifestation and relationships. Just because someone is not physically present in your life right now doesn't mean you are not present in their mind. Energy doesn't work like that. Connection doesn't just disappear because there is distance or silence. What you felt was real, and what is real doesn't just switch off like a button. The problem is not that they don't miss you. The problem is that you are trying too hard to make it happen from a place of fear. You keep checking your phone. You keep replaying old conversations. You keep wondering what they are doing, who they are with, whether they're thinking about you or not. And in doing that, you are constantly sending out one message to the universe that you are lacking, that you are waiting, that you are not okay without them. And manifestation doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your state. So the more you chase, the more you wait, the more you try to control, the more you push them energetically away. That's why the first shift you need to make is this. Stop taking action from desperation. This doesn't mean you stop living your life. It doesn't mean you ignore your feelings. It simply means you stop trying to force something to happen. You stop trying to manipulate the situation. You stop trying to make them miss you. Because missing is not something you can control directly. It's something that naturally happens when space is created. Think about it. When something is constantly available, constantly chasing, constantly trying to prove itself, it loses its emotional weight. But when there is space, when there is silence, when there is a shift in energy, that's when the mind starts to wander back. That's when they start to feel your absence. But for that to happen, you have to step out of this constant cycle of action and reaction. You have to pause. And that brings us to the second shift. Focus on yourself and start putting your energy back into you. Right now, most of your energy is not yours. It is invested in someone else, in their thoughts, their actions, their behavior. You are trying to control something that is outside of you, and that's exactly why you feel out of control, because you are not rooted in yourself. When your happiness depends on someone else's actions, you will always feel unstable. One message can make your day, one silence can break it. And that's not power, that's dependency. So instead of asking, why are they not reaching out? Start asking, why do I feel so restless without them? Instead of focusing on what they are doing, bring your attention back to what you are doing with your own life. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you growing? Are you building something? Are you becoming someone you are proud of? Because the truth is, the moment you start pouring energy into yourself, something shifts, not just in your life, but in the dynamic between you and them. You become less needy, less reactive, less attached to outcomes, and that changes your energy completely. You stop coming from a place of lack, and you start coming from a place of fullness. And that's when manifestation starts working in your favor. But there's something deeper you need to understand here. Why do you feel out of control in the first place? It's because somewhere inside you, you believe that they have the power to decide your worth, that their presence means you are loved, and their absence means you are not. And that belief is what needs to change, because your worth was never dependent on them. When you come back to yourself, when you reconnect with who you are without needing validation from someone else, you naturally become more attractive, more magnetic, more grounded. And from that place, you don't need to chase love. Love starts coming towards you. Now let's talk about the story you are telling yourself. Right now, your mind is probably stuck on one version of reality. Maybe you think they don't care anymore. Maybe you think they have moved on. Maybe you think it's over forever, but that's just a story. And the thing about stories is they are not facts. They are interpretations. You are choosing to believe a version of reality that is hurting you. And the moment you realize that, you also realize something powerful. You can choose a different story. You can choose to believe that they still think about you, that they still feel something, that they just need time, space, or clarity. And here's the important part. People have the capacity to change their mind. Just because they acted a certain way in the past doesn't mean they will act the same way forever. Emotions evolve, perspectives shift, people grow. But if you keep locking them into a fixed version in your mind, you also lock the outcome. Manifestation is not about controlling someone. It's about allowing possibilities. And when you hold on to the belief that things can change, you create space for that change to happen. But this only works when it comes from a calm, grounded place. Not from anxiety, not from desperation, not from fear. Which brings us to the most important part of all of this. Healing and falling in love with yourself. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about them missing you. This is about you remembering yourself. It's about you becoming someone who doesn't feel incomplete without another person. When you truly start loving yourself, something interesting happens. You stop trying to force love from others. You stop overthinking every little thing. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing constant reassurance. And in that space, you become peaceful. You become secure. You become whole. And from that place, you don't need to make someone miss you. They naturally do. Because your energy is no longer heavy, no longer needy, no longer attached. It becomes light, calm, and magnetic. And that's what draws people back. But this only works when you let go of control. Not in a way where you give up, but in a way where you trust. Trust that what is meant for you will come back. Trust that what you felt was real. Trust that the universe is working in ways you cannot always see. And most importantly, trust yourself. Because forcing something will only create resistance. But allowing it, that's where the magic is. So instead of asking, when will they miss me? Shift the question to, am I becoming someone who is at peace, whether they come back or not? Because ironically, that's the moment everything starts to change. That's the moment they start to feel your absence. That's the moment they start to wonder about you again. And that's the moment the connection starts pulling back. Not because you forced it, but because you finally let it breathe. So take your energy back. Come back to yourself. Let go of the need to control the outcome. And watch how everything begins to align in ways you didn't expect. Because the truth is, they will miss you. But only when you stop trying to make it happen. And here's something most people never realize. The moment you stop needing someone to come back is often the exact moment they feel the strongest pull towards you. Not because you played a game, not because you followed some trick, but because your energy genuinely changed. You are no longer chasing, no longer waiting, no longer holding on tightly. And that creates a space where emotions can naturally flow again. When you are constantly thinking about them, you are holding on to their energy in a tense way. But now, as you relax, as you focus on your own life, as you start enjoying your own presence, that energy softens. It becomes open instead of restricted. And in that openness, connection has room to return. You might not see it immediately. You might not get instant proof. But things begin shifting beneath the surface. Thoughts reappear. Feelings resurface. Curiosity grows. Not because you forced it, but because you finally stopped blocking it. So don't rush the process. Don't keep checking for signs every second. Live your life. Breathe. Trust the timing. Because what is truly meant for you doesn't disappear. It may pause, it may drift, it may take time, but it always finds its way back when you stop trying to control it and start trusting yourself again. I hope this helped you. I will meet you with another golden nugget soon. Happy manifesting.